290. North on Tri-State, it's clogged up from 95th to 47th. And from the Reagan tollway most of the way to Lawrence. The Kennedy, O'Hare to downtown, it's 38 minutes. Quicker than the Express. Eisenhower, 49 minutes, 390 to downtown. 28 from Manheim. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive. And Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny to partly cloudy, warm 89 today. 75 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Charles Love. He's the co-host of a new program that airs Saturdays at 1 p.m. on AM 560 called Black and Right. He co-hosts with John Anthony, former Illinois State Representative, and started off with a great show on Saturday featuring Shelby Steele, interview with Shelby Steele. And so, again, Saturdays, 1 p.m., you want to check them out. And also, just in terms of, these tragic events, we do have acts of heroism, talking about the shootings over the weekend. And in El Paso, there's a man that you should hear about. It's nice to talk about the Samaritanism that's sort of instinctive, I think, in Americans. But it gets drowned out by the din of cheap binary political chatter on the cable news networks. So hear from Glenn Oakley. Glenn Oakley was going to the Foot Locker in the mall where that Walmart is, the shopping mall that the El Paso shooter shot up. And Glenn Oakley happens to be military, 1st Armored Division out of Fort Bliss in Texas. And here's how he reacted once he understood what was happening.
A little kid runs in and talking about an active shooter in Walmart, but me and the guy that works there, we're just like, he's a kid, so we didn't believe him. So I walk out the mall, go to Foot Locker, I hear, bah, bah. I got my lights carried, so I pulled my gun out. And I just started hiding. They closed the Foot Locker, and some people in there, they were so scared, they just lifted the cage, and they just dipped. So I ran with them, and I just tried to make my way to the parking lot. And I see a whole bunch of kids just running around, without their parents and stuff. So I got my bag in my hand. I'm trying to pick them up as many as I can, just run out. But they're so, anxious. They're, jumping out of my hand. So ain't much I could do for the kids. So I just made my way out. And when I got out, I guess one of the cops thought I was a shooter or something. So I had to, show him my clip and stuff, show him it was still full. I got my license carried. He said I was fine. Go out. I called a friend, told him to come pick up my gun. And I'm here now, but... it was just a whole bunch of kids up in there. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. But it was a whole bunch of kids in there. And I just hope nothing happens to the kids because they were out their parents and stuff. I tried to pick up as many as I could and bring them out with me.
So, good guy with a gun runs and picks up as many kids as he could, as he was describing, who were wandering around the mall without their parents because, of course, of the chaos of the situation. Good guy with a gun. Good guys with guns in Dayton that put down that shooter in under a minute. The additional carnage that could have been inflicted if they weren't there and didn't react as quickly as they did. And also just the stories coming out of El Paso that have nothing to do with politics, which, of course, will dominate the analysis of this. El Paso puts the word out for blood donations because, of course, of the medical facilities overwhelmed by the number of injured that they're trying to treat. And immediately, and the local stations had shots of the crowds, immediately lines around the block to donate blood to the local medical centers in El Paso that were treating the injured. So, it reminds you there's another dynamic at play than the one that you see playing out on the Sunday talkies. Sort of consistent with that, though this may be less of a unifying event just based on the politics of it, but this is very interesting. I saw this at the blockclub.com, Block Club Chicago, actually blockclubchicago.org, sort of a local outlet. Michigan man brings his large, loud, pro-Trump Floyd to downtown streets Annoying Chicagoans. So, Rob Cortis is calling this his Uniting America tour. He's got this big Trump float that has Trump's name in big letters, just like Trump likes it, with Drain the Swamp, Secure America's Border, Making America Great Again, list of the, essentially the platform headers on the float as well. This was characterized by one. Holly Prindle was walking away from the lakefront Wednesday last week when she suddenly heard Aretha Franklin's Think over a loudspeaker. Good song choice. She looked up, spotted a parade-style float heading down Michigan Avenue emblazoned with big bold letters, Trump and Build the Wall. She was confused as to why the float's creator chose this venue to display his political statement. You're in Chicago, Holly Prindle said, talking out loud. I guess she hasn't heard from Jussie Smollett that this is MAGA country. For more on the topic, we're pleased to be joined by Rob Cortis, the man behind Trump Unity Bridge. Rob, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Good morning. How is everybody doing today?
Good morning. So how is the coast-to-coast, border-to-border Unity Bridge campaign going? How were you received last week in Chicago?
I was received very, very well, and I wish this lady would have came and talked to me, or some of the media would, like you guys did, because I was in Chicago, and I go to different cities because a lot of Americans need to be educated to learn to use common sense and to learn the facts before they jump to conclusions and make a comment. And we were playing Aretha Franklin Think because we want people to think about President Trump, what he's doing. We want him to judge. We'd like people to judge him by his achievements and accomplishments, not by what other people say about him. And we want them to think about the policies, like what would the wall do for us? Can somebody go jump and climb over it? Yes, probably. But the wall will slow them down. We give the opportunity for them to be detained because they'll have video surveillance, there's probably seismic vibration sensors and all sorts of new technology there. And we want America to be a great country forever and ever. And I want to do my part to unite America on positive messages like the ones that are on the Trump Unity Bridge. They came from people just like you all over America, from Democrats, Republicans, independents, from all 50 states. And we want people to share positive messages, put their energy into that so that we can have character, integrity,
go ahead,
patriotism in every home.
Has the float suffered any vandalism during your tour?
When not in recent years, but during the day before the inauguration, we were in Arlington, Virginia, and we had some people that were supposed to watch it, and it was vandalized then. But that's the only time it's really been vandalized.
Got to keep that thing moving, right? I got to stick and move.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
right. I mean, it's people have come by and they somebody tried punching it, and they hurt their hand. It was made by Americans, built tough, like my Chevy truck that I towed with.
And what was the inspiration to do this in the first place, and your ability to do this too, take time off from work or whatever it is you're doing to focus on trying to unify the country through a float?
Well, it's pretty interesting and simple. I went through a divorce. My wife got the house, and I took the bridge going over the river. The bridge was built by my uncle and my father, and my uncle was a union welder for the auto workers for General Motors, and so he got his buddies. They built the bridge to go over my river, and then I went and it got stolen from. I had it on a property, and a building company stole it to put on their building site that they were building, and then I put an internet campaign and did a press conference, and it went around the world in 24 hours. We found it in 48 hours. It was located. People said, "Oh, we saw that here." So we got it back, and I put it at my restaurant in Green Oak Township, Whitmore Lake. And the city said that it was an illegal bridge in the garden. it was just sitting on the ground, and that people could die if, because the zoning department didn't look at it, and the planning commission and the site plan wasn't approved to put it in the garden. So they said people could get hurt and die on it. So I had to remove it. So I took it to a welder and asked them to put wheels on it and a tongue on it. I want to make it a mobile unity bridge for people to get married on, okay, for a wedding bridge, so you can take it to your garden and stuff like that. Okay, and
Talk about a bridge to nowhere.
I did weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did weddings. I said, I'll take it, put it in somebody's backyard, put the bride and groom's name on it, put flowers on it, and
Sure.
have the wedding bridge.
Yeah, of course.
Right, and so then over the next few days, I was already Trumping with my SUV, driving around with Trump signs on it, promoting President Trump with the truck, going to rallies and supporting. And I woke up one morning. I woke up and the Pope was saying Trump needs to be building bridges, not walls. And the media was saying if Trump thinks he's going to get elected, he has to beat out 17 of the greatest politicians in American history that are all experienced. And they're like, good luck, Trump, sarcastically. So I just woke up the next morning and said, wait a minute. I'm going to make it the Trump Unity Bridge. The Pope said build bridges, not walls, so I'm on a mission from God to make America great again and support President Trump's agenda.
This is some cross between Field of Dreams and Blues Brothers. Yeah, this is really something. So how many, have you had any actual weddings on the bridge? The Unity Bridge?
We haven't had a wedding. We haven't had a wedding yet. I haven't promoted it that much. But now that I'm on your show,
sure.
Everybody in America, if somebody wants to get married on the Trump Unity Bridge, we will meet with you, and there'll be no charge for it. We'll just try to come to you. If you're somewhere way far away in the country, if it's in our route, we'll stop for free. If not, maybe chip in for some gas money so we can do the first wedding on the Trump Unity Bridge.
We're talking to Rob Cortis. We're talking to Rob Cortis, the man behind Trump's Unity Bridge, who made a recent visit to Chicago and escaped with his life, which is always a positive. Let me ask you though, were you political at all before Trump? Or is this like your first foray into politics and with both feet because of Trump?
I was never in politics before this. Mm-hmm. I was patriotic and voted, stood for the Pledge of Allegiance, and did all my appropriate things, removed my hat, and I have pride and manners. I open a door for a lady and people when I'm going into a restaurant or a store, and just kind and courteous, normal person, and that's the way I'm trying to hope that we can get the education system to teach that. Because if you look at Chicago and you look at what Obama did for 8 years to help the people of Chicago and to cut the murder rate and to teach people integrity and American pride and manners, he didn't do anything for Chicago. He just took cash from them and he went in with a few $1 million, and now he has tons of millions of bucks. He's went in a wealthy man. Now he's extremely wealthy. So I'm not very proud of what he did.
Is your son involved in this Unity Bridge tour as well?
My son has supported me. He helped me build it. He started when he was 16, and one of the things that got him going on this was he went to school. He was the only kid in his class that stood for the Pledge of Allegiance as a senior in high school. And when I found out about that, and I called the school and the principal, that's what got me going on the education system. Is the principal and the teacher were like, oh, well, we tell the kids that they make their own choices and they do what they want when it comes to things like that and showing integrity and pride. And I'm well, wait a minute. When we go to school, we're supposed to learn character, integrity, and pride. And the teachers aren't teaching it. They're saying, do what you want. Be a goofball, slough off, That didn't make sense to me. Don't show patriotism. And so that got me going. And then my son actually put together a speech, and he spoke at a free speech rally on the steps of the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan. And he just hit it out of the park. He gave a great speech, told his story, and that's what got his speech was awesome. And then he also spoke on at the Moore rally, the mother of all rallies, on the lawn at our National Mall in Washington. So